You're watching MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23, a free educational service provided by Circle City Broadcasting of Indianapolis. Here's what's coming up this hour. Get more information, special announcements, and weekly program schedules online at wishtv.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Good morning, this is Stephanie Woods. I am a reading interventionist. We are going to be working on some phonics lessons today, and our focus is going to be looking at consonant blends. So this will be a little bit of a review. Some of it might be new. So I'm going to give you 3 words. You tell me which 2 rhyme, okay? So if I say black, clack, glad, which 2 rhyme out of those 3? Black and clack. If I say slow, plate, grow, which 2 rhyme? Slow, glow. Let's do the next one. If I say glue, sly, clue, which 2 of those words rhyme? Glue, clue. Let's do a couple more. If I say sling, flight, slight, which 2 of those words rhyme? Flight and slight. Very good. Last one. If I say climb, slime, fly, which 2 rhyme? Climb, slime. Very good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 words. I want you to think of the blend that you hear at the beginning of both of those words. So if I say sleep, slippery, what blend do we hear at the beginning of those 2? Sl. I hear that SL blend, okay? If I say client, climber, what's that blend that I hear at the beginning of those 2 words? Coal. I hear that CL blend. Let's do a few more. If I say blister, blanket, what's that blend I hear at the beginning? Bowl. I hear that BL blend. See if you can do it faster than me now. If I say skillet, skipper, what's that blend I hear at the beginning of those 2 words? I hear sk, sk. Very good. Last one we're going to do. If I say student, storage, what's that blend I hear at the beginning of those 2 words? I hear st, st, that ST blend. All right, next activity we're going to do, I'm going to give you the sounds. You tell me what word I created. So if I go b, o, a, k, what word did I make? Black. Let's keep going. If I say k, o, a, m, what word did I make? Clam. Very good. If I say f, o, a, g, what word did I create? Flag. See if you can start doing it faster than me. If I say g, o, a, d, what word did I create? Glad. If I say p, o, a, n, what word did I make? Plan. Let's do a few more. Next one. S, o, it, p. What word did I create? Slip. Next one. B, o, e, n, d. What word did I create? Blend. Last one. If I say g, o, s, what word did I create? Glass. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at that middle sound that's in these words. So really focus in on that middle vowel sound that you hear. So say the word bless. Now listen to that middle sound, bless. What's that middle vowel sound I hear? I hear the E or the short E sound. Say clock. What's that short vowel sound I hear in the middle of clock? I hear the ah, O sound. Next one, say plum. What's that middle sound I hear in the word plum? I hear the short U sound. Say flake. What's that middle sound I hear in flake? Tricky one, I hear the long A sound. It switched it up on us. Say the word glad. What's that middle sound I hear in glad? I hear that short A sound. Last two, don't let me trick you. Say flesh. What's that middle sound I hear in the word flesh? Again, I'm hearing that short sound. Last one, say the word sleek. What's that middle sound I hear in the word sleek? I hear the long E sound. They threw a couple long sounds in on us. All right, now we're going to do segmenting. So we're going to go backwards. I'm going to give you the word this time. You're going to tell me what sounds you hear. So if I say the word flip, I want you to go f-o-ip, and you break the word down. Say the word glide. Break it down. G-o-i-d. Very good. Say play. Break it down. P-o-a. Say sleep. Break it down. S-o-e-p. Very good. See if you can do it faster than me. Say the word block. Break it down. B-o-a-k. Next one, say clean. Break it down. K-o-e-n. Do two more. Say the word float. Break it down. F-o-o-t. Very good. And last one, say the word please. Break it down. P-o-e-z. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add on to the word. So I'm going to give you part of the word right here. We're going to add on to it to make another word, again focusing on consonant blends at the beginning. So say lant, add p at the beginning, and my word is plant. Very good. Say late, add s at the beginning, and the word is slate. Say less, add b at the beginning, and the word is bless. Say lass, add k at the beginning, and the word is class. See if you can do it faster than me. Say lame, add f at the beginning, and the word is flame. Say leam, add g at the beginning, and the word is gleam. Last one, say late, add p at the beginning, and the word is plate. Very good. Now we're going to go backwards. Instead of adding, we're going to delete something. So say the word blonde, take away the but, and I'm left with blonde. Very good. Say clock, take away the k, and I'm left with lock. Say fly, take away the f, and I'm left with lie. Say glove, take away the g, and I'm left with love. See if you can go faster than me now. Say slime, take away this, and I'm left with lime. Say blow, take away the b, and I'm left with low. Last two, say claim, take away the k, and I'm left with lame. Last one, say plug. Take away the p and I'm left with lug. Very good. Now instead of adding or subtracting, we're going to substitute. So I'm going to give you a word. We're going to change something at the beginning to get a different word, all right? So say low, change the ul to sul, and the word is slow. So low and slow both should rhyme because I'm keeping the rest of the word the same. Say slow, take away sul, put up sh. The word is show. Say show. Take away sh, put up gul. The word is glow. See if you can start doing it faster than me. Say glow. Take away gul, put up bull. The word is blow. Last one, say blow. Take away bull, put up full. The word is flow. So just because I'm changing those beginning sounds, that means all those words rhyme. That's all we have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. We miss you.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hello everyone, it's really nice to see you. Today what we're going to do is we're going to be working on kindergarten reading activities, lesson 1. But before we get started, we're going to warm up our brains with a reading warm-up. These are activities that you're going to practice at home with me, listening to some sounds and practicing with those sounds or word parts. Let's get started. The first activity that we're going to do together is called blending syllables. You're going to listen to each word part and then blend the parts into a word. I'm going to practice first, the first one, then you're going to do some at home with me. The first one is gentleman. The word is gentleman. So you're going to say it fast. Let's practice at home. Fishermen. Fishermen. That's right. Bicycle. Bicycle. Wonderful. Xylophone. Say it fast. Xylophone. Important. Important. Wonderful. Cinnamon. Cinnamon. Excellent. Skeleton. Skeleton. Vitamin. Vitamin. Handwriting. Handwriting. Wonderful. Calendar. Calendar. Carnival. Carnival. 2 more. Alphabet. Alphabet. Telescope. Telescope. That was fantastic blending. Now we're going to do another activity to practice and warm up our brains for our reading activity. This is segmenting. You're going to listen to the word and clap once for each syllable in that word. So I'm going to practice the first one, and then you're going to do it at home with me. The word is purse. Let's clap the syllables. Purse. 1 clap. Awesome. Now let's get ready to practice at home. Basketball. Basketball. Wonderful. 3 claps. Next word. Farmer. Farmer. 2 claps. Awesome. Next word, pretend. Pretend. Wonderful. Golf. Golf. Just 1 clap. Chance. chance. Again, just one clap. The next word is remember. Remember. Wonderful. Feather. Feather. Two more. Radio. Radio. Awesome job. Next word, banana. Banana. Wow, you did a wonderful job warming up your brains with some of our listening activities. We're going to move on into our kindergarten reading activities, lesson 1, and we're working on pages 10 through 19 in your packet. Today, what we're going to be working on for our learning target is asking questions. Asking questions helps you understand important information in a story. When you are reading or listening to a story, you should ask questions. Begin each question with one of these words. Who is in the story? When is the story taking place? Why are things happening in the story? Where is the story taking place? And how are things happening in a sequence? Finding answers to your questions helps you understand the story. So let's get started, and we're going to read a story today. While we're reading, remember, we're going to ask questions in our minds as we're thinking. I also brought some guests today that you might spy in your story as we're reading. The story title is Zoe's Perfect Pet by Jacqueline Adams. Remember, we're going to be asking questions in our mind as we read. I want a monkey, Zoe told her big sister. Sybil sighed. Monkeys need to climb, Zoe. We do not have a place for a monkey. Well, I can fix that, Zoe said. Zoe grabbed some sticks and took them into the house. Are you thinking as you're reading? Who is in the story? Zoe used a bunch of Sybil's hairbands to hold the sticks together. It was a climbing tree. Sybil stomped in. What did you do? A monkey needs to climb, Zoe said. Get this mess out of here, Sybil ordered, and forget the monkey. Again, where are they? Who is in the story? Be thinking and asking questions. Zoe dragged the sticks outside, but she did not give up. A pig would be a good pet, Zoe declared. A pig needs mud. Zoe could not find any mud. I can fix that, she said. Zoe dug a hole in the yard. She added water. Mud! Sybil walked outside. Sploosh, splat. Mud was all over Sybil. Zoe! Sybil yelled. So Zoe filled in the hole, but she did not give up. Remember, who's in the story? Where are they? Zoe said, maybe I do not want a pig. What pet can I try now? A bird? A rat? Something rubbed against Zoe's leg. Oh, a cat! Zoe picked up the scruffy, skinny kitten and ran inside. I want a cat, she told Sybil. Sybil opened her mouth to speak. Zoe stopped her. A cat does not need sticks or mud, she said. That means no more messes. But that cat is a mess, Sybil said. Zoe smiled. We can fix that. And they did. So as you were reading, we were thinking, remember, asking questions helps us understand and remember what we read. After we've read the story, we're going to answer some questions I want you to be thinking about those questions in your mind that you were thinking as we were reading to help you answer the questions. Okay, boys and girls, we just finished the story, and now we're going to go into reading questions. Question 1, you can find it in page 1 of the passage. What does Zoe want? Circle the picture that shows what she wants. Looking at the pictures, does she want A, Sybil, B, sticks, or C, a monkey? Thinking about the story, what does she want? C, a monkey. That's right. Question 2, you can find it on page 2 of the passage. What does Sybil tell Zoe to do about the monkey? A, make a bigger tree for the monkey. B, get the monkey out of the house. Or C, forget about the monkey. C, forget about the monkey. Very good. You're thinking and asking questions about the story. Question 3. This is from page 3 of the passage. What does Zoe want now? She wants mud for a pig. She wants sticks for a pile. She wants a pet for her sister. A, she wants mud for a pig. Great thinking. Question 4 from page 4 of the passage. What does Sybil do? Sybil gets mad at Zoe. Sybil digs a hole. Sybil cleans up the mud. What does Sybil do? Right, A, Sybil gets mad at Zoe. Question 5 from page 5 of the passage. What does Zoe want now? Zoe wants a bird, A. B, Zoe wants a rat. Or C, Zoe wants a cat. Thinking about our friends. Zoe wants a cat, C. Very good. Question 6. Now we're looking at the pictures. Look at the chart. What happens at the end of the story? So you're sequencing the story. Beginning, taking a look at the picture. She's thinking about the monkey and gathering sticks. In the middle, looking at the picture, she's thinking of a pig and making mud. At the end, which picture shows the end of the story? Is it A, Zoe with Sybil and the cat? B, Zoe with Sybil and a monkey? Or C, Zoe and Sybil and a pig? What happens at the end? That's right, A, Zoe and Sybil and the cat. Boys and girls, you did a fantastic job today listening to the story, following along, practicing our learning target, asking questions. Remember, it helps us understand and remember what we read. We miss you, and we'll see you very, very soon.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to be working on kindergarten reading activities, lesson number 2. Before we do that, we're going to get our brains warmed up and exercised by doing a reading warm-up. Remember, these are activities that we're using our listening ears to activate our brains to get ready to read. So we're going to play some games today where the first game is I'm going to say a word and say it without the word part. Okay, so here's an example. I'm going to say the word baseball without ball is base. Wonderful. Okay, now it's your turn. I'm going to say the word and you're going to say it without a word part. Doorbell without door is Mailman. Without man is mail. Very good. Sunburn. Without sun. Burn. Dugout. Without out. Dug. Excellent. Scarecrow. Without scare. Crow. Goldfish. Without fish. Gold. Raincoat. Without rain. Coat. Awesome. 2 more. Airplane. Without plane. Air. Indoor. Without in. Door. Wow, you guys are wonderful. We're going to do another reading warm-up before we read our story. And this time, you're going to take a word part off to form a new word. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. Say miff without is if. Okay, now it's your turn. Tan. Say tan without t is an. Wonderful. More without or. Fear without f. Ear. Raid without r. Aid. Boat without b. Oat. Fuss without f. Us. 2 more. Jar without j. R. Excellent. Deal without d. Eel. Way to go, boys and girls. Now your brains are all warmed up. We're going to move on to our story. Page numbers in your packet and lesson 2, pages 20 through 29. Our learning target today, again, is asking questions. Remember, asking questions helps you understand important information in a story. When you are reading or listening to a story, you should ask questions. Begin each question with one of these words. Who is in the story? Where is the story taking place? When is the story taking place? Why? What's happening? And how? Finding answers to your questions helps you understand the story. So as we read today, I want you to think about those questions in your mind as we're reading to help you understand it. We're going to read Zoe's Sale Surprise today by Jacqueline Adams, and I'm on page 20. Let's turn the page, page 21, and begin. Zoe was looking for something. Zoe, what are you doing? Her big sister Sybil asked. I need something to sell at the big sale, Zoe said. What will people want to buy? Zoe saw seed packets on a shelf. I will grow plants, she said. People like plants. Are you thinking of those questions? Who is in the story? Where are they? Page 22. Zoe put the seeds on the table. Just then the cat jumped up. He played with the seeds. He swished them all over the table. Your seeds are mixed up, Sybil said. Zoe looked at the seed. You have no idea what it is, Sybil said. Well, I can fix that, Zoe said. What is happening in the story? And who is in the story? Zoe planted the seeds in the cups. I will see what grows, she said. Little plants started to grow, but they all looked the same. Zoe looked at a plant. What is this? She asked. What is Zoe doing? Zoe, it is time to sell the plants, Sybil said. How will people know what the plants are? I will make a sign, Zoe said. It will tell what the plants are. Thinking about what they're doing. Why are they doing it? Why are they going to sell the plants? Zoe and Sybil set up a sign. A woman stopped to look. "What kind of plant is this?" she asked. "You will find out when it grows," Zoe said. "It is a surprise." The woman smiled. "I will take one surprise, please." Zoe, what is Zoe doing? Who is in the story now? Thinking about the characters. Zoe sold all her plant surprises. She got her cat a toy with the money she made, and all the sales surprises grew and grew. So what happened at the end of Sales Surprise? Thinking about those questions that help us understand and remember. Now it's time for us to think about what we've read and answer some questions about the story. Page 27. Question 1. Thinking about, what is Zoe looking for? Is it A, something to fix, B, something to eat, or C, something to sell? Thinking about, what is Zoe looking for? That's right, C, something to sell. Question 2. This is from page 1 of the passage. What does Zoe find? Does she find some seeds? A, B, her sister Sybil, or C, a cat? A, excellent, some seeds, wonderful. What happened to the seeds? The seeds got mixed up. The cat ate the seeds. The seeds got too small. That's right, the seeds got mixed up. Question 4 from page 3 of the passage. Where does Zoe put the seeds? On dishes, A, in cups, B, or C, in gardens? Thinking about what Zoe did in the story, where did she put the seeds? In cups, B. Question 5 from page 3 of the passage, and I'm on page 28. What is Zoe looking at when she says, "What is this?" Is she looking at A, a flower, B, a seed, or C, a plant? C, a plant. Wonderful. Question 6 from page 4 of the passage. What will Zoe's sign tell people? A, how to care for the plants, B, how much water the plants need, or C, what the plants are? The sign will tell people C, what the plants are. Question 7 from page 5 of the passage. What does the woman buy? Thinking about what they're buying. A, a plant, B, a sign, or C, a seed? Excellent, A, a plant. And the final question, 8, looking at the chart, sequencing the story. What happens to the plants at the end of the story? At the end of the story, choose the correct picture. So we have the beginning, Zoe is looking at the seeds. In the middle, she planted the seeds. At the end, is it A, just the cup and the seeds? Is it B, the plants grew? Or C, the cat gets the seeds? It's B, the plants grew. Great reading today, boys and girls. So remember what we are doing when we read a story. It's important to ask questions. It helps us understand and remember what we read. Those questions are who, when, why, where, and how. We miss you, boys and girls, and we'll see you very soon.
This is MyIPS. on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Good morning, this is Miss Woods, the reading interventionist. We're gonna do our phonics lesson for the day, okay? So we're gonna first start out with, I'm gonna give you 3 words. You tell me which 2 rhyme. So if I say store, snore, spray, which 2 of those words rhyme? Store and snore, that's right. If I say spy, scarf, sky, which 2 rhyme? Spy, sky. Very good. If I say score, small, stall, which 2 rhyme? Small, stall. Very good. Let's do a couple more. If I say start, smart, speak, which 2 rhyme? Start and smart. Last one. If I say smell, skit, spell, which 2 rhyme? Smell, spell. Very good. Again, I'm going to give you the beginning of, or I'm going to give you the word. You tell me the beginning that you hear, and we're going to be focusing on those consonant blends. So if I say classic, cloudy, what's that beginning blend we hear at the beginning? I hear cool, that CL blend. If I say staircase, stammer, what blend do we hear at the beginning? I hear the st blend. If I say clubhouse, clockwise, what blend do I hear at the beginning? I hear cool, cool. If I say grumble, grateful, what blend do I hear at the beginning of those 2 words? I hear grr, grr. Last one, if I say pleasure, plenty, what blend do I hear at the beginning of those 2 words? I hear pull, pull. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to blending. So I'm going to give you the sounds and you tell me what word I am creating with those sounds. All of them are going to have a blend at the beginning. So if I say s, k, a, b, what word did I create? Scab. If I say s, o, a, p, what word did I create? Slap. If I say s, m, I, o, what word did I create? Smile. If I say s, n, o, what word do I have? Snow. See if you can do it faster than me now. S, p, e, k, speak. Next one, s, w, on, n, swan. Couple more, s, t, a, k, steak. Next 2 are a little tricky, so really listen. S, p, l, o, r. Speller. Last one, s, w, I, m, r. Swimmer. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at that middle sound in the word. I'm going to give you 3 words, so as I say them, listen to that middle vowel sound and think about what vowel we hear. So if I say blade, slate, flake, what middle vowel sound do I hear in all 3? I hear that long A sound. If I say clock, spot, smock, what's that middle vowel sound I hear? I hear ah, short O. If I say flight, spice, climb, What's that middle vowel sound I hear? I hear the long I sound. What about sled, step, swept? What's that middle sound? I hear short E. If I say club, snug, fluff, what's that middle sound? I hear short U. If I say snack, plan, flag, what's that middle vowel sound I'm listening to? I hear short A sound. Last one, if I say stove, globe, close, what's that middle vowel sound I hear? I hear O, long O sound. Very good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go backwards. Instead of blending and putting the words together, we're going to segment them or pull them apart. So say the word ski. Now let's break it down to its sounds. S, k, e. Very good. Say the word slip. Break it down. S, l, I, p. Say the word smash. Break it down. S, m, a, sh. Very good. See if you can start doing it faster than me. Say snail. Break it down. S, n, l, o. Next one. Say spell. Break it down. S, p, e, o. Very good. Now we're going to get trickier. Say stickers. Break it down. S, t, I, k, z. That was a long one. Next one. Say sweeper. Break it down. S, w, I, p, Very good. Say smoky. Break it down. S, m, o, k, e. Very good. Say stapler. Break it down. S, t, a, p, o, Long one again. Last one. Say sponge. Break it down. S, p, n, j. Very good. They tricked us with some long words in there. Now we're going to focus on adding that initial sound and creating a word. Remember, focusing on those consonant blends. So say Kate, add s at the beginning and the word is skate. Say lead, add s at the beginning and the word is sled. Say mash, add s at the beginning and the word is smash. Say lippers, add s at the beginning and the word is slippers. Couple more. Say piter, add s at the beginning and my word is spider. Say team, add s at the beginning and the word is steam. Last one. Say wetter, add s at the beginning and the word is sweater. Some funny ones in there. I was kind of giggling to myself. Next one, we're going to delete or take away the first sound. So for example, we're going to say the word sky, take away this, and I'm left with kai. Say slide, take away this, and I'm left with lied. Say smoke, take away this, and I'm left with moke. Say snake, take away this, and I'm left with nake. See if you can do this faster than me. Say spine, take away this, and I'm left with pine. Say stamp, take away this, and I'm left with tamp. Say swish, take away this, and I'm left with wish. Say skater, take away this, and I'm left with cater. Last one, say sleep, take away this, and I'm left with Leap. Very good. Sometimes when we add or we take away, they kind of make some funny words. Last one we're doing is now we're substituting. So we're taking away the first sound, putting something up different. So with us keeping the rhyme the same, all these words should rhyme. So let's do this. Ready? Say rice, take away the put up sul, and the word is slice. So notice how rice and slice rhyme. Say blade, take away bowl, put up sp. The word is spade. Say flake, take away full, put up sn. The word is snake. Say snake, take away sn, put up st. The word is steak. Couple more. Say keep, take away k, put up sul. The word is sleep. Two more. Say feet, take away f, put up swa. The word is sweet. And last one. Say ride, take away put up sul. The word is slide. Very good job today. Hope you have an awesome day. Stay safe. We miss you.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Everyone. Today what we're going to do is we're working on grade 1 reading activities, and we're working on lesson 1. In our packet we're going to be reading pages 8 through 20. But before we get started, we're going to warm up our brains by doing some reading warm-ups. During these activities you're going to be listening and practicing and playing with sounds at home. But first, I'm going to give an example of the activity, and then you're going to try it at home. So this activity is deletion of syllables. We're going to take a word part off of a word and make a new word. So let me give you an example. I'm going to say a word, and we're going to say it without the word part. The first word is hamster. Without stir is ham. Now it's your turn at home. You're going to say the word and say it without the word part. Say the word sailor without or. The new word is sail. Say the word marbles without bulls. The word is mar. Say the word pretend without pre. Tend. Excellent. Say the word seven without n. Sev. Say the word almost without all. That's right, most. Good work. Say the word busy without e. Biz. That's right. Say the word friendly without friend. Lee. Good, that was a tricky one. Say the word spider without der. Spy. Two more. Say the word Thursday without thurs. Day. Wonderful. Say the word hero without row is he. Awesome work. We're going to do one more activity before we read. This one's blending. It's fun. I'm going to say, you're going to listen to me say these sounds, and then you're going to put them together to make a word. Let me give you an example. The word parts are at, makes the word rat. Good. Okay, now it's your turn. Listen to me say these sounds, then put the sounds together to make a word. B-ed, bed. H-im, him. Wonderful. Log, log. Good job. T-ub, tub. M-aid, maid. N-eat, neat. like. Like. 2 more. Coat. Makes the word coat. Last one. Boot. Boot. Wonderful work. Reading, doing your reading warm up and warming up your brain and exercising it to get ready for our reading. Now that you've done your reading warm up and warmed up your brain, we're going to get into our first lesson. Lesson 1 in our packet, and we're reading pages 8 through 20 today. The learning target we're going to be working on for our story is describing setting. The setting is where and when a story takes place. When does the story take place? We're thinking about season of the year, now or long ago, time of day, day of the week. Where the story takes place. It might be somewhere like your home or a home, a boat, a park. And what does the setting look like, or the environment around in the story? Is it hot? Is it dark? Is it rainy? So as we're reading our story today, we're thinking about setting. Understanding where and when a story happens helps you make connections between the important story details so we can really understand our story and comprehend it. Today what we're going to be reading is Lan and the Pangolins by Eva Stewart. I'm starting on page 9. That's our title. Page 10. Lan was helping at the Animal Rescue Center. The center was near a hot, huge jungle. It was where Lan's dad worked. He took care of animals that were hurt. Animals stayed at the center while they got better. Now Lan was cleaning up. She heard a door slam. Her dad ran in. He was holding 2 strange animals. Are you thinking about the setting of the story? Where is Lan and her dad? Page 11. What are they? Lan asked with surprise. They are pangolins, said her dad. A mother and a baby. The mother needs help. The mother pangolin's leg was hurt. Lan's dad wrapped its leg. The pangolin looked at Lan with bright eyes. Lan had never seen a pangolin before. Where are they? When is this happening? Thinking about the setting. The mother pangolin's leg was better in 3 days, but the pangolins did not move or eat much. Their eyes were no longer bright. What is wrong? Lan asked her dad. Pangolins do not like being inside, he said. We will take them back to the jungle tonight. Most pangolins are awake then. Are you thinking about the setting? Could it be changing? Lan and her dad waited until night came. Lan's dad carried the pangolins in a cage. They crossed a red bridge over a rushing river. We must go deep into the jungle, her father said. Pangolins live there. The air felt wet and hot. Lan stopped to take a drink. Lan saw moonlight shining on the tangled vines and tall trees. I'm thinking the setting has changed. What time is it right now with Lan, where Lan and her dad have gone? What place are they in? Looks like they've changed to the jungle. And what does it feel like outside? I saw the word hot. Okay, page 14. Lan and her dad kept walking. They passed a pond. We cannot leave the pangolins here, her dad said. They will not be safe. They saw some big rocks. The pangolins cannot live here, Lan's dad said. There's nothing to eat. Our environment is changing too. They walked more. Finally, Lan saw a fallen tree. The pangolins could stay there, she said. There will be bugs for them to eat. Yes, her dad said. And there's a stream. They will have water to drink. I'm thinking this is a part of the setting and a place where they're going to put the pangolins. This is a perfect spot, Lan said. She let the pangolins out of the cage. The baby climbed on the mother's tail. They crawled under the fallen tree together. Lan was sad to say goodbye, but she was happy the pangolins had a home. So remember, we're describing the setting. The setting is where and when the story takes place. Where and when. There were a few settings and areas where the story took place. Let's move on to our questions, thinking about the story. Question 1, page 1 of the passage. Which picture shows the setting of the animal shelter? Is it A, B, looking at the pictures, or C? Which one represents the setting? Thinking about the time, place, and environment. That's right, B, in the jungle. Question number 2 for page 2 of the passage. Why was Lan surprised? Why was Lan surprised? A, Lan had not seen a mother and a baby before. B, Lan had not seen this kind of animal before. Or C, Lan had not seen a hurt animal before. That's right, B, Lan had not seen this kind of animal before. It's a pangolin, she had never seen it. Question 3 for page 3 of the passage, and I'm on page 18. How did the pangolins feel after being inside for a few days? We're going to complete this sentence. The pangolins feel A, sad when they're inside. The pangolins feel B, shy when they're inside. Or the pangolins feel C, safe when they're inside. Thinking back to the story, that's right, the pangolins feel A, sad when they're inside. Question number 4 from page 4 of the passage. Which key detail tells you how the jungle setting feels? The jungle. Remember, we're describing the environment. Which key detail tells us how the jungle feels? A, there are tall trees and vines. B, they crossed a bridge. Or C, the air is hot and wet. C, excellent. The air is hot and wet. It's how they feel outside in the jungle. Question 5, page 5 of the passage. Why do Lan and her dad pass by the rocks instead of letting pangolins go there? Why? There is no food. It is not safe there. B, it is not safe there. Or C, the animals need water. Right, A, there is no food where the rocks are. Okay, question 6. We're on page 19. Why is the fallen tree a good place for the pangolins to live? Thinking about the setting. A, there is food and water. B, there is a tree to climb on. Or C, there is a stream to swim in. Why is the tree a good place? A, there is food and water. Wonderful job. Question 7, page 20. This is also on page 7 of the passage. Why do Lan and her dad, or what do Lan and her dad do in the last story? We're going to choose an event. Thinking about the events. The first event, they helped 2 pangolins at the rescue center. Next, they looked for a good pangolin home in the jungle. And what was the last thing they did in the story? Did they A, leave the pangolins in a high tree? B, leave the pangolins in the perfect spot? Or C, leave the pangolins in a cage? What was the final thing they did? The last thing. That's right, B, they left the pangolins in the perfect spot. Wonderful work, boys and girls, with the reading today for our lesson and thinking about setting. Remember, describing setting. The setting is where and when the story takes place. The time, when, the place, where, and the environment helps us understand the story and make connections between important details. It's good work today, boys and girls. We miss you and we can't wait to see you again.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Okay, try it now. Yeah, that's IPS.
You're watching MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23, a free educational service provided by Circle City Broadcasting of Indianapolis. Here's what's coming up this hour. Get more information, special announcements, and weekly program schedules online at wishtv.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to do a reading lesson together. I'm Mr. Troyer, and today what we're going to, with the page of your packet that we're going to begin on is page 10 of your packet. At the top of this page you're going to see where it says Word Learning Routine. The things that we're going to talk about today are things that you can use anytime that you read. So we're going to talk about them. I'm going to give you an example, but the tips that we go over today are things that you can use whenever you read if you need to try and figure out what a word might mean. So, if you turn to page 10 with me, you don't really need a pencil or anything to write with right now. Just follow along with me and we'll get some strategies for learning new words. So, if you look inside the box on page 10, at the top it says, use the following steps to figure out unfamiliar words. In other words, words that maybe we don't know. If you figure out what a word means, continue reading. If not, then try the next step. In other words, we're going to go through 5 different things that you can do that will help you figure out what a word means. If you figure it out on the first step, then go ahead and keep reading. If it takes you a couple steps, just go down the list as far as it takes to figure out the word, and as soon as you do, continue with your reading. We're going to use a sample sentence here today. All the football players wear the same uniform. Now, the first step that you want to do is identify the word that maybe you don't know. And we're going to pretend here, maybe you know this word, maybe you don't, but we're going to say that this word right here, uniform, maybe we don't know what that means. Step 1, say the word or phrase aloud. Uniform. Sometimes if you say it even multiple times, you may say it different ways, and in your brain it might click into place and you recognize the word. Maybe the spelling confuses you at first, but once you sound it out, you go, I know what that means, and then you can go back to your reading. But the first step, circle the word or phrase that you find confusing. Read the sentence aloud. So we've identified uniform as maybe the word that we don't know. Step 2 of this process, look inside the word or phrase. Look for familiar word parts such as prefixes, suffixes, and root words. Try breaking the word into smaller parts. Can you figure out a meaning from the word parts you know? Let's take a look at uniform here. Maybe if we break that down into parts, we might be able to figure it out. For example, uni, right here. That's a prefix. It's the beginning part of the word. And maybe I know that, maybe I think that a unicorn is another word that has UNI as a prefix. And I think to myself, wow, a unicorn is called a unicorn because it has one horn right here. Or maybe you think of the word unicycle. And a unicycle is like a bicycle, except it only has one wheel. So I'm wondering here if the prefix uni might mean one. Then we have form. Now form is a word that means shape or type. So if we put uni, one, together with shape or type, that might give us some pretty clear hints as to what a uniform is. Now let's say we don't quite get that far with this word. Well, don't worry, there are other things that we can do. Let's go to step 3. In step 3, it says, look around the word or phrase. Look for clues in the words or sentences around the word you don't know and the context of the paragraph or selection. So when we look around this sentence right here, what words might help us figure out what uniform means? I feel like the word all right here. All the football players are doing something. And wear, that seems like it's another key word because the stuff I wear is usually clothes. And if everybody is wearing the same, I wonder if this word has something to do with clothes. But maybe that doesn't even do it for us. That's okay. We've got another step that we can take. Let's look at number 4. Look beyond the word or phrase. Look for the meaning of the word or phrase in a dictionary, glossary, or thesaurus. So, look beyond just this sentence. If you have a dictionary at home, we could look this word up and see what the dictionary says. Maybe you have a computer or a phone at home. You could look this up in a dictionary for a definition of what the word means. Now, those 4 steps will probably get you the meaning that you're looking for. But what you need to do, your final step, step 5, check the meaning. Ask yourself, does this meaning make sense in the sentence? So let's read it out loud one more time. I think this means something that you wear and it's one style for everybody. I think that's what uniform is. Let's see whether that makes sense in our sentence here. All the football players wear the same uniform. You know what? I think it does. This page, again, this is page 10 of your packet. This is a good page to fold the edge over or maybe put a sticky note in there so you know where this is, because you can go through these steps anytime you're reading if you want to try and figure out an unfamiliar word and what its meaning is. That concludes this lesson for right now. Boys and girls, I hope you stay safe, help your families, and read as many stories as you can. Bye-bye.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hi, boys and girls. Mr. Troyer with you again. We're going to do another reading activity today. Today, we're going to begin on page 11 of your packet. At the top of your packet, you're going to notice that this says Lesson 18. But if you and your parents are following along in the beginning of your packet in the table of contents, This actually is lesson 1 that we're doing. But again, this is on page 11 of your packet. And at the top it says, explaining how images support text. This is what we're trying to do. This is our goal with this lesson. Our learning target. Look at the pictures that go with the text. Excuse me, looking at the pictures that go with the text will help you better understand what you read. Read. When you read, pictures and other images can be as important as words. They can support or help explain information in the text. For example, diagrams are drawings that show different parts of something. They can also show how something works. Here's what we're going to do. Read the sentences, then look at the diagram. How do they work together to help you understand the parts of a fire truck? The driver of a fire truck sits in the cab. A ladder and a hose are connected to the main part of the truck. The hose is long and can stretch far from the truck. So there's the informational text that we've been given, and you can see below that we have a diagram of a fire truck. And you'll notice that there are 5 or 6 things that are labeled on this diagram, like the light and the cab and the hose, ladder, body, wheel. Take a moment to look at the diagram, and once you do, we're going to go to the next page, on page 12, and we're going to fill out the chart here on page 12. On the chart, what we're going to be doing is we're going to write down in this left-hand column right here what the text tells us. And then in the right column over here, we'll write down what the diagram shows us. Now the goal here is, when we do something like this, is to really understand all of the information that's being given to us, both visually through the diagram and on the text that we read. So let's look at our instructions here at the top. It says, think. Look again at the page about the fire truck. Fill in the chart to tell what you learned from the sentences and the diagram. Now, when I looked at the picture of the truck and the text, I learned a couple things. First, let's think about what the text tells us. One thing that I learned was that the driver of the truck sits in the cab. So that's something you could write in the left-hand column. Another thing I learned is that the ladder is on the main part of the truck. That's another thing you could write in the left-hand column. And there are other things that you could write in this column as well. So I would encourage you to look at the text again, try and find 2 more things that you can learn from the text that you can write in the left-hand column. After you do that, then take a look at the picture. There are things that we can learn from the picture too. For example, I learned that the main part of the truck is called the body of the truck. So there's an actual name for the main part of the truck. That's something I learned from the diagram. Why don't you try and find at least 1 more thing from the diagram that you can list in the right-hand column? One final thing that maybe will be helpful when you're understanding this information is to talk about the sentences in the diagram with somebody else. If you have a brother or a sister at home, maybe you could show them the picture and the text, and you could talk about what the information is together. You could do this with a parent or anybody else that you have contact with. And again, the reason we do this is we try to make sense of the information that's given to us so that we really understand it. That will help us with our reading. So, boys and girls, that's all for this lesson. Thanks for joining us today. And make sure that you help your families as much as you can, stay safe, and read as many stories as you can. Bye-bye.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Troyer with you again, here to do another reading lesson with you today. Today, our reading is going to begin on page 13 of your packet. So if you want to go ahead and open up your packet, you're reading your English Language Arts packet, open it up to page 13. It would be a really good idea if you have a pencil or a pen or a marker or something else to write with, because we are going to do a little bit of marking on our paper today. There's a couple things that I'd like to show you before we begin. The first thing is on the bottom of the page, you're going to see a little box that says Close Reader Habits. In that box, it says, underline the 2 sentences that tell you what an inclined plane is. Then circle the inclined plane on the diagram. So we're going to do 2 things here as we read. Once we find some sentences that tell us what an inclined plane is, we're going to underline those things. And then after we read, we're going to look at the diagram and we're going to circle where we see an inclined plane. Now, the second thing I wanted to show you or point out to you is at the top of the page, the title of this reading is called The Inclined Plane. But it's kind of interesting. I'm looking at that and it looks like those words are going uphill. I don't usually see that when I look at a title. So I'm wondering in my mind whether we're going to read something about moving up a ramp or something like that. So that might be something to keep in our minds as we read. So if you're ready, why don't we go ahead and read this together. Many years ago, people had a problem. How could they easily move heavy objects without lifting them? The answer to that problem was the inclined plane. An inclined plane is a flat surface that creates a ramp. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Remember, we're supposed to underline 2 sentences that tell you what an inclined plane is. This is one of them. So on our paper, why don't we underline the first sentence of paragraph 2. An inclined plane is a flat surface that creates a ramp. Let's move on. This ramp makes a smooth climb from a lower place to a higher place. Ooh, that also tells us what an inclined plane is. So why don't we go ahead and underline the second sentence as well. This ramp makes a smooth climb from a lower place to a higher place. Let's go on. Inclined planes let people move heavy objects more easily. They can push the objects instead of lifting them. Today, we use inclined planes all the time. Wheelchair ramps are one example. Loading ramps for moving trucks are another. Boat ramps are another. paragraph 3, our instructions don't tell us to do this, but all of paragraph 3 contains examples of what inclined planes can be used for. You might want to put a little star maybe next to paragraph 3, because when we go to our activity, we might come back to that paragraph to look at examples. Now let's look at the diagram. We can see that there's a mover here that's pushing a dresser up an inclined plane into the back of a truck. Maybe that dresser is too heavy for her to lift it all by herself. So what we want to do here is we want to circle the inclined plane on the diagram. And you can see that it's labeled down there at the bottom. The ramp that she's walking up, that's the inclined plane. So let's go ahead and circle that ramp. Now, let's move on to page 14. How does the diagram of an inclined plane help you better understand the information in the article? Think. Read the article again. Fill in the chart to show how the text and the diagram work together. This is another diagram that is similar to what we did in a past lesson. There's a column for what the text tells us, and there's a column for what the diagram tells us. The left side, what the text tells us. One of the things that I remember learning from the reading is that inclined planes are ramps. One of the things that the diagram showed me in the right column is that the inclined plane goes from the ground up to the truck. Why don't you take a minute or two to look at the text and at the diagram, try and write at least one more thing for each column. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to move on to page 15 right now. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to look at our question. We're going to do a little bit of writing right now. So let's look at the question. If you can find the little box that has the 3 in it, where it says short response, here's what we're being asked to do. Look again at the diagram. How does it help you understand how an inclined plane works? One suggestion I have for you is, since the picture is on page 13 and your writing space is on page 15, you might want to get a separate sheet of paper so you could write your sentences while you're looking at page 13, so you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. That's totally up to you. If you're okay flipping back and forth, you can do that, no problem. A couple things that I would suggest that you look at when you're getting ready to write your short response is, remember that the question asks us, how does it help you understand how an inclined plane works? Well, part of the answer to that question involves what the diagram shows us. It involves why the person in the diagram is doing what she's doing. And it also involves what an inclined plane is. So appropriate types of sentences you might include here would be what the mover is doing in the picture, why she's pushing the dresser up the ramp instead of lifting it, where the dresser's going from and to, and also maybe what the ramp actually is. There's another name for what that ramp is, which is the main topic of our paragraph. So I think if you consider those questions, as you write, you will probably be able to write 2 or 3 or 4 sentences that answer the question very well. Do remember, after you're done, make sure you check your writing. Reading it out loud can be helpful so that you know for a fact that it says what you want it to say. Make sure you have good capitalization at the beginning, punctuation at the end, and do your very best with your spelling. Finally, It always helps to talk about ideas with other people. So if you have a sibling at home or a parent or somebody else that you can talk to, maybe you might want to try and describe to them what inclined planes are and why they're useful. In talking together with that other person, that might help you really understand the information that you've been given. That's all for this lesson today. I'm glad you were able to join us again. Remember to always help your families when you can. Stay safe and read as many stories as you can. We'll see you next time.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Good morning. My name is Todd Hawks. I am Learning Community Director for our KA and Innovation Schools. Today we're going to be looking at the second grade SEL Remote Learning Packet, and this is second grade lesson 11. This morning we're going to focus on our body and getting clues about how we are feeling. This can help us to manage strong feelings and keep our brains in control during tough situations. Now, this is Tiana. Tiana's friend just told her that her shirt is on backwards, and Tiana realized that it's been like that all day long. Tiana just wants to hide. She's starting to wonder if other people have noticed. Now think about a time that you have felt really embarrassed. Think about what's been happening in your body. Did your face feel hot? Was your heart racing? Maybe your palms were sweaty. Maybe you were a little sick to your stomach, or you had wobbly knees. When we have strong feelings, it's hard for our brains to think. Now, imagine that your hand is your brain. Your thumb is the limbic system, which is the feeling part of the brain, and your fingers are the prefrontal cortex, which is the thinking part of the brain. Now, when you have really strong emotions, it's like you flip your lid and the feeling part is all exposed. Now, think about Tiana's brain and pretend that your hand is her brain. The feeling part is overflowing with embarrassment, which is causing her to flip the top. She needs to focus her attention on her body and get clues about how she's feeling. This will help her know if she is about to lose control. When she starts to recognize how she's feeling, she's using the thinking part of her brain to manage her feelings. In the next couple of lessons, you're going to learn some strategies to help calm down when you're experiencing strong emotions. I'm going to talk to you about a couple today. The first thing that you can do is you can engage in some self-talk. You can say to yourself, I need to stay calm right now. I feel really embarrassed, and recognize that that's what you're feeling. Another thing that we can do is we can do some deep belly breathing, and I'm going to show you how you can do some belly breathing to calm down. So you get in a comfortable position, you relax all of your muscles, put one hand on your belly. You're going to breathe in and fill up your belly like a balloon. So you're going to breathe in for 3 counts. And then you're going to let it out for 5 counts. When you breathe out, you're going to imagine all of those strong feelings leaving your body, and you'll begin to calm down. So let's try it one time together. In for 3. And out for 5. When you feel a really strong feeling, try this to help yourself calm down. For more resources on social and emotional learning, make sure you visit the IPS website, click on Families, and there will be activities for you to do at home and to help with social emotional learning in the remote learning setting.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hey guys, it's Ms. Schmaltz. I'm going to be doing your 3rd grade reading lesson, and we're going to start in lesson 1. That's page 11 and 12 in your packet. So our I can statement for today's lesson is I can identify the past tense of irregular verbs. Let's break that down so we really understand what we're talking about. So past tense means something that's already occurred, something that happened yesterday, a month ago, even a minute ago, something that's already happened in the past. An irregular verb, well, let's break that word down. I see the prefix ir, IR. That means not, so a not regular verb. So most verbs are regular verbs. Regular verbs end in ed to show past tense, like the word jump. To say I jumped in the past, I would add ed, jumped. Irregular verbs change in special ways to show past tense. And sometimes what makes it even trickier is that they might have some helping verbs like has, have, or had to show the past tense. Here's a little chart that you'll see on your paper. They gave us some examples of words in the present form, and then the past tense, and the past tense with a helping verb. So let's try out a couple. The word begin is in the present, the past tense is began, and a past tense with a helping verb like has, begun. Take a minute to check out that chart. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how these verbs come into action. So if I use the word eat, I might say I want to eat a hamburger. If I'm using the past tense without a helping verb, I might say yesterday I ate a hamburger. And if I'm using a helping verb like has, have, or had, I might say yesterday I had eaten a hamburger. So you'll see how these verbs change as we use them in different tense. Sometimes though, they don't always change. So let's look at the word make. I'm going to use the word make in a sentence. I'm going to make a cake for my mom. When I move it to past tense though, it does change to made. Here's an example. I made a cake for my mom. When I add a helping verb, it doesn't change from my regular past tense. Here's what I mean. I have made a cake for my mom. It still stays the same. So as you are doing your questions, make sure that you're using this chart to help you out. Let's do the guided practice at the bottom of your page. Here are the questions that you guys have listed. Number 1, I have always blank each day with a healthy breakfast. Well, I want to try to cross out at least one choice. I'm going to cross out the word begin because that is my present tense. I know that's not going to be one of my answers. I'm also noticing that I have a helping verb here. I'm going to circle that, look at my chart, and I realize that the answer should be I have always begun. That is my correct answer. Let's see if you guys can get the next one. Number 2, yesterday, Mom blanked me a bowl of oatmeal with fruit. Which one can I cross out? You got it. I'm going to cross out the word give. I'm going to reread my sentence, and I'm going to see if I can find a helping verb. I don't see any helping verbs. I don't see have, had, or has. So let's look. I'm going to use my chart again in case if I forget. Here's my word give. Without a helping verb, the answer is gave. Gave is the correct answer. All right, the next 2, you guys are going to try on your own. My dad has blank yummy banana bread. I see an ED here, but I know that that's not correct for irregular verbs. I can cross that out. And our past tense would be made. Good job. One last one for the guided practice. Grandma has not blanked yet, so she had some too. I know that my present tense is eat, so I'm left with eaten or ate. I notice that I had my helping verb, so I need to use my helping verb, eaten. Great job. You guys are going to do the rest of the questions on the back, questions numbers 1 through 5. I'm going to read the directions so you know what to do. For numbers 1 through 5, read each sentence. Then choose the word that replaces the underlined verb and makes the sentence correct. Make sure you guys use your chart on the front of the page to help you guys out. Thank you guys.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
guys, it's Mrs. Schmaltz, and we're going to do your third grade reading lesson, lesson 2 in your packet, and that's pages 13 and 14. We're going to start with our I can statement for the day. I can use time and sequence words to help me understand how events in history are connected. So our lesson that we did in lesson 1, we talked about the past, and history is full of fun events that have happened in the past. History is a story of events that happened in the past. It's usually told in a sequence. That's the order in which the events happen. The sequence helps you understand the relationships or connections between the events. When you've talked about sequence in your classroom before, you've probably seen a graphic organizer like this, which it has the boxes and these arrows to show how these events are connected. Or you may have seen it this way, where it shows you in order. A timeline is a great example of events being told in a sequence. Here are some helping words that help us identify when things are happening. A lot of the words that we use for beginning are first, initially, to begin, in the beginning, before, as soon as. Some of the words that tell us that something's happening in the middle are next, then, later, after that, meanwhile, or also. Signal words that help us identify things in the end are finally, afterward, eventually, in conclusion, last, all in all. We might see these words when we're reading about history, but we also can use these words when we're telling a story. When we're looking at the comic on the bottom of your page, you'll notice that there's a 3-part comic. What I want to do is I want to mark up those signal words that are going to tell me when it's happening in the story. So I'm going to read it. First, the Vikings sailed to North America. I notice the word first. That's going to tell me when it happened. I'm going to circle that word. Next, they started a settlement. Can you find the signal word there? Great job. Our signal word there was next. Last one. After a few difficult years, the Vikings gave up and returned home. Did you find the signal words this time? Great job. After a few difficult years. You'll notice that on the next page, you'll have a chart. What they want you to do is fill in the chart with what happened first, next, and after a few years. Here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to just copy exactly what it says in the comic. What we want to do is paraphrase it. That means we're going to read it and put it in our own words. So I'm going to reread what happened first. First, the Vikings sailed to North America. How can I say this in my own words? I want to get the main idea. So I might say, a group of Vikings came to America, to North America, on a ship. Notice that my sentence is not exactly what the comic book says, because I was able to paraphrase it or put it into my own words. I want you to try to paraphrase the next 2 parts of your chart. Before we go, I'm going to make sure you guys understand the rest of what to do. On the bottom, you're going to find someone that you can talk to. You're going to talk about how the second and third events in the cartoon, and you're going to talk about the relationship between these 2 events. And was the third event what you expected? Thanks again, you guys, for tuning into today's lesson.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Hey guys, it's Mrs. Schmaltz again, and we're going to do your 3rd grade reading lesson, lesson 3. It's on page 15 and 16 of your packet. So we're going to start with your I can statement to get us started for today's lesson. It says, I can sequence the text by annotating and identifying key signal words. So last time, you could recall in lesson 2, we talked about sequence. And what does that mean? It means putting things in order. So we're going to put the story in order by annotating. What does annotating mean? It's just a big fancy way of saying mark up the text. So I have a large copy of the text up here so you guys can see and follow along and mark up the text just like I do. Before I start reading though, I want to look at some of my text features. I'm going to read my title here, Adventures of the Growing Nation. I wonder what this is going to be about. I also see a map located. I can see there's a key. It's showing me the route of Lewis and Clark going from the United States, Louisiana, and Spanish territory. Now I'm looking at this map and I'm noticing the United States looks a lot smaller here. It doesn't look like what we see now. So I'm making a prediction that this was from a long time ago, before our United States became all 50 states. All right, now that I've previewed those text features, I'm ready to read the text. Paragraph 1. Imagine that in one day our country doubled in size. That's what happened to the United States in 1803. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to circle 1803. Even though it's not a signal word, it is a date, and dates are really important to helping us tell the sequence. President Thomas Jefferson asked France to sell the United States in a vast area of land. Overnight, America added more than 828,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi River. This is known as the Louisiana Purchase. Now, I saw a lot of key information in there that's going to help me understand the text, but I really want to just focus on the key details and telling them in an order. Paragraph 2. Jefferson wanted to know the fastest way across the new land. At the time, there were no maps of the whole country. Jefferson asked Meriwether Lewis to explore the area. Lewis was an army captain whom Jefferson trusted. Lewis chose another soldier, William Clark, to help him lead the party. I want you to give me a thumbs up if you saw a sequence word, or a thumbs down if you did not see a sequence word. You're right, there were no sequence words in that paragraph, so there was nothing to annotate there. Let's move on to paragraph 3. To get ready, they first had a large boat built. The boat took the men down the Ohio River. Then they built a base camp near St. Louis, Missouri. They spent the winter of 1803 there. Finally, on May 14, 1804, Lewis and Clark began their famous trip into the new territory. 50 men went with them. All right, did you guys see any signal words or sequence words? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You're right, we did see some sequence words. Who found them? Oh, I see one here, winter of 1803, so I'm going to mark that up. Is there another one? You're right, there is, May 14th, 1804. All right, we're going to move on to paragraph 4 now. They traveled for over 18 months. Finally, the group made it to the Pacific Ocean. On November 7th, 1805, Clark wrote, "Ocean in view, oh the joy." The group spent a long, cold winter near the ocean. Then they began the trip back home in March 1806. Ooh, I bet you guys are experts now at finding those sequence words or those dates. Did you spot them? You're right. November 7th, 1805. There's one more. Good job. March of 1806. You guys are becoming experts at this. Last paragraph. Lewis and Clark arrived in St. Louis in September 1806. They were greeted with a big party. A century later, in 1904, the World's Fair was held in St. Louis. People honored Lewis and Clark's journey at the fair. One more, you guys. Great job. You found September 1806. And one more. Great job, 1904. Now you'll see that we annotated or marked up the text. And remember, our focus today was to identify those key signal words that help tell a sequence. The reason why this is going to be helpful to us is when we're looking at the questions, if you look at the chart on the back of the page, they want you to identify what happened in winter 1803, May 1804, November 1805, and September of 1806. Because I annotated my text, I can look for those circles to help me locate that information a lot faster than having to reread the whole entire passage. So the first one was already done for you. They said first, President Jefferson asked Meriwether Lewis to explore the new land. You'll see that in the first paragraph, and that actually happened in 1803. I want you to also notice that that sentence didn't come exactly from the text. Remember what we talked about in lesson 2. They paraphrased the text. That means they put it into their own words. I'm going to give you guys a hint with winter 1803 before I let you guys finish the rest of your packet on your own. Winter 1803. If I go back into my text, I'm going to look through all of my circles to see if I can find winter 1803. Can you find it? Great job. It's in paragraph 3. We had already circled it. So I'm going to reread paragraph 3 and think about how can I paraphrase this. To get ready, they first had a large boat built. The boat took the men down the Ohio River. Then they built a base camp near St. Louis, Missouri. They spent the winter of 1803 there. I'm going to pause. How can I put that into my own words? I might say that Lewis and Clark went down the Ohio River and built a camp in St. Louis. I'm not going to take all of the words just like they did. I'm going to make sure that I'm paraphrasing it. You guys are good to go on the rest of your chart. Before I log off here, I'm going to make sure that you guys know what to do with the rest of your packet in your lesson. Question number 2 says talk. Find someone in your house that you can talk to. Maybe a parent, maybe a sibling. Hey, maybe you can talk to the TV. It says reread paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. Talk with a partner about how those events in those paragraphs are related. So remember, we talked about how do things connect. Question 3, short response. That means you're going to have to write about it, so you might want to get a sheet of paper or find a blank page in your packet where you can write this answer. What are the important events in the journey of Lewis and Clark? Include details from paragraphs 3, 4, and 5 in your answer. Use the space provided on page 44 to write your answer. Remember, we have a chart that we started. Look for your annotations, and that should really help you guys out. Great job with today's lesson. We miss you guys, and we can't wait to see you soon.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Good morning, my name is Todd Hawks and I am Learning Community Director for our K-8 and Innovation Schools. Today we're going to be looking at the 3rd grade Social and Emotional Learning Remote Learning Packet, and this is going to be lesson number 11. This morning we're going to focus on our body and clues about how we're feeling. This will help us manage strong feelings and will help keep our brain in control during tough situations. Now, before we begin today, I want to talk to you about 5 different words that we're going to use during our lesson today. Nervous means feeling alarmed or feeling worried. Anxious is feeling worried or nervous about something that might happen or is uncertain. Handle, it's how we deal with someone or something. Manage means that we handle something calmly. And recognize means to know someone or something from having seen or experienced it before. Now I have a picture of a friend today, and his name is Mateo. Mateo is having a really strong feeling. He's about to take a big, long math test. Now it's okay to feel anxious, but Mateo, he's feeling really uncomfortable. His hands are sweaty, his face feels really warm, and his heart is beginning to race. Now think about a time that you felt the same way, maybe when you felt anxious about something. You don't have to say what it is, but just think about it and how your body felt. Was your face hot? Maybe your heart was racing. Maybe you had sweaty palms. Maybe you felt a little sick to your stomach, or your knees felt a little wobbly. When we have strong feelings, it's hard for our brains to think. Now, imagine that your hand is your brain. Your thumb is the limbic system, or the feeling part of your brain. Your fingers are the prefrontal cortex, or the thinking part of your brain. When you have a really strong feeling, it's like you flip the thinking part open and you flip your lid and you leave the feeling part all exposed. Now, pretend that your hand is Mateo's brain. He has felt a really strong feeling, and that feeling of being anxious is exposed. He needs to focus his attention on his body to find cues and clues about what he's feeling. This will help him to know if his brain is losing control. And once he starts to recognize that, he can use the thinking part of his brain to manage his feelings. In the next couple of lessons, you'll talk more about some things you can do when you're having really strong feelings and might need to calm down. I want to talk about a few today. The first thing you need to do is have a stop signal. This can be just saying to yourself, stop, you can say hold on a minute, you can say wait a minute, but it's you recognizing because of the things that are happening in your body, maybe your face is hot, your heart is racing, that you need to stop for a minute. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to name that feeling. So you stop and then say to yourself, I'm feeling really anxious right now. You can do some deep belly breathing. You can also count. So the way I do this when I feel a really strong emotion is in my head, I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'll count backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I focus on counting instead of my really strong feelings, it helps me to calm down. Mateo could also engage in some positive self-talk. He can say, I know this is scary, but you got this. You've practiced, you can do this. This is a test, you know the material, and that's going to help encourage him to do his very best. For more resources on social and emotional learning, you can visit our website, click on the family section, and you'll find activities you can do with your student at home with schedules to help calm themselves and learn more about how to manage their feelings.
This is MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23. Here's what's coming up next.
Good morning, IPS first graders. Welcome back for another lesson in social emotional learning. It's lesson number 13, strong feelings. If you remember, we talked about having strong feelings in our last lesson, and we talked about being frustrated. Well, we're going to also work on ways to calm ourselves down when we have that frustrated feeling. Let's go over some vocabulary first. Strong feelings. Remember, we said everyone has feelings, they're natural. And some of the feelings that we are very strong is that if you're really happy, you have a smile on your face, and you could be kind of blah. You're not happy or sad, you're just kind of blah. That's a strong feeling. And then you could be sad, you cry, or you don't feel like doing anything. Those are strong feelings. In our last lesson, we talked about frustrated. Frustrated is when you want to do something or you want something to go a certain way and it doesn't happen. So you're kind of upset, you're kind of angry, you're kind of mad. That's frustrated. So let's begin our lesson like we always do with a story, and then we'll do a discussion. Today we're going to talk about Nikki. She is learning how to subtract big numbers, and it's hard. She has tried and tried, but can't understand how to do it. She feels like tearing up the paper, and she feels like crying. Now think about clues. What tells us how Nikki's feeling? Well, let's listen to our story again. Well, this is a new activity. She really doesn't understand it. It's kind of hard, and she wants to tear up her paper, and she feels like crying. So I think we can say that Nikki is definitely frustrated. So would it be a good idea for Nikki to tear up her paper? No. Why? Well, we all know that if we tear up our papers, most likely the teacher's going to tell you you have to do it anyway. So you're going to have to try again. So it doesn't make any sense to tear it up. So let's just start from where we are. Nikki definitely feels frustrated, and frustrated feelings can happen when you're trying to do something difficult or new, and you're not very successful at it. All of us in first grade, how many of us have ever tried doing subtraction of single digits, big digits? It didn't matter. Sometimes it was hard and we didn't understand what was going on. So, you know, it's okay to be frustrated. Sometimes your feelings aren't very strong and your body feels just a little uncomfortable, but in this case, Nikki was feeling very uncomfortable. So sometimes those strong feelings come through and we have to figure out a way to calm our body down so that we can focus and pay attention to our learning. So Nikki has tried and learned how to do something called the calming down steps. So remember, she's already upset. So Nikki is going to say, stop, put her hand on her tummy, and she's going to say, take a deep breath, and she's going to say, I can't figure this out, so what do I need to do? I need to raise my hand and call for my teacher to see if she can help me. Much better solution than to tear up our paper, right? Let's try it together. Think of something really frustrating. Oh, I can tell you one for an adult. I can't find my car keys. Gotta go to work. Okay, before I start going through the house and tearing things up, I need to stop, think, and say to my kids, did anybody see my keys? Where did I put them down last? My son usually says, here they are, Mom, because he usually has the car. So he gave me the keys. That's the way you need to solve your problems. Let's try it again one more time. Stop. Take a deep breath. Put your hands on your tummy and think, who can help me solve this problem? That's today's lesson. You've learned something very valuable that we have to learn as adults as well as children, how to stop and think before we react. Parents, you have a home link that will follow through with some of the ideas brought to you in this lesson, including the calm down song and the calm down stop technique. Also, remember, we always have our choice board, social emotional choice board for students to participate in activities during the week to help them learn how to channel their emotions, calm down, and have a productive day. It's been great working with you guys today, and thank you for tuning in to MyIPS, Social and Emotional Learning.
Look around. Listen. We're moving to a new beat. A colorful symphony, each note made more beautiful by the next. We are driven by talent in the classroom, in each school that recognizes the potential in every student and knows the opportunity to achieve is not an option, it's expected. We are not alone. We stand among giants, eager to help, eager to give back and build bonds to last generations. We are part of a city fueled by grit, strength, and determination. Racing toward a future full of potential, where hard work really does pay off. When one succeeds, we all succeed. We're innovative, we're industrious, we're imaginative. We are your Indianapolis Public Schools, and we're stronger together.
I think I need to call in sick.
Why? What's wrong?
My throat is sore, dizzy, runny nose.
It sounds like nasopharyngitis.
More than a dozen surprisingly specialized education models to choose from. Explore them all online. Yeah, that's IPS.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Okay, try it now.
Yeah, that's IPS.
You've been watching MyIPS on MyINDY-TV 23, a free educational service provided by Circle City Broadcasting of Indianapolis. MyIPS airs weekday mornings from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. For more information, special announcements, and the weekly program schedule, go to wishtv.com. You can also follow us on Facebook.